Cub fans, spring training is taking flight. We got our first game against the Chicago White Sox this coming Friday. And this episode, I'm not flying alone, y'all. I got a co-host for you. We're going to find out who it is right after the intro. Welcome in, everybody, to Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I am your host, Mike Jones, and guys, I did not come alone. I told you guys I was going to work all year round this year, dedicated to bringing the very best hosts that I could, building the bridges, growing Chicago Cubs Central, and y'all, today I got a man, a legend, the myth, the legend, Cody Delmendo is coming in from Wrigleyville Forever Podcast. What's up, Cody?
Mike Jones? Who? I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't. Yeah, I'm a 34-year-old millennial. Like, that song lives in my head rent-free anytime I see that name. Mike, it's great to be here. I'm sorry I used your name as a pun to start this off, so we'll only get better from here. We just talked off air for like 30 minutes before we even started. We had never met before. We had great conversation. So this is about to be as authentic and awesome at the same time. I'm excited, and I'm also excited that Cubs baseball is back. We got spring training game on Friday, like you said in the intro. Yeah, dude, this is we get through the winter, the amount of snow that we've had to deal with the last 2 months. And now we got a random 50 to 60 degree day, a couple days here leading into this episode. Like, I had the sun out today. I had the windows in my car down driving home from my first job. Yep. And it's all a sign that baseball is almost back. And that's a beautiful thing, man.
The absolute best feeling you can have is when baseball is right around the corner. And for me, for us, for content creators, and just for Cubs baseball fans in general, this is what we live for. Like you said, we go through that terrible winter, bunch of storms, all these different things, to get to this moment where this coming Friday, you turn on the Marquee Sports Network and baseball is there. The baseball is being played in Mesa, Arizona at the Cubs spring training facility. For me, Cody, like I said, it's an honor to have you on, bro. Like I said, I meant what I said when I said you're a legend in the game, working for CHGO, obviously, and then moving on from there to Wrigleyville Forever Podcast, starting your own journey there. I appreciate the grind. If anybody understands the grind of potting and of, trying to bring the very best, Cubs podcast material out there, you and Blake do a phenomenal job. So make sure, guys, you go and you like, share, and subscribe to Wrigleyville Forever Podcast. Blake, where can they find your podcast at, man, before we begin?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast on YouTube, it's not under Wrigleyville Forever. It's just under me. It's under my name. So you can just search Cody Delmendo on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find it that way. We're obviously on every listening platform. You just search Wrigleyville Forever that way. Mm-hmm. I will say, we're on the path of trying to get to 2,000 subs before opening day. So if you are out there looking to support multiple Cubs channels, not just Cubs Central, I'll invite you to come over, and we'll also have to get Mike on our show anyway. So you're gonna want to be there for that. And we're doing some cool things over there. We got a Discord channel. All you got to do is sign up for the YouTube membership. We're always pushing. It's there's supposed to be more perks coming for it. It's just been a slow process since we're building it from the ground up. But one of the perks of becoming what we call a sicko is you get to go into the Wrigleyville Forever Discord, and just Cubs fans, Chicago sports fans a lot too, especially during the Bears season. We were all talking Bears in there too. So a lot of just Chicago sports, but mainly Cubs. Again, to be a YouTube member right now, it's like $4 a month. So if you're interested in that. But yeah, and if you just want to subscribe and listen to the show or watch the show, we appreciate that too. So Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. To be called a legend in the game, I mean that says something. It's been a long journey, but I'm having a lot of
Yeah.
fun talking about the Cubs, whether they're good or bad. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of bad during the time of me being a content creator talking about the Cubs. So
Right.
last season was nice to have. Hopefully,
You know
this
what?
season will be too.
I told myself, Cody, I was like, dude, how lucky, how freaking blessed are you that your first full season covering the Cubs, they win the wild, they are the number one wild card team. They go and take out the Padres in a 3-game series, and it's the most exciting baseball you've seen at Wrigley in years. And then, I mean, obviously it didn't end the way we thought it would, but almost take the Brewers to the brink. I mean, I appreciate all of that. But what I've seen, Cody, and what we're hearing around spring training is that the Cubs aren't satisfied in the least bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of chatter today in Cub land, as I like to call it, as far as like X and Twitter and Instagram, a lot of sound bites coming from not only Tom Ricketts, coming from Craig Counsell, coming from players alike, talking about the fact that the Chicago Cubs are hungry. Ben
Mm-hmm.
Brown's the one that said he was hungry. PCA is saying he's going to get better. These guys are not resting on just bringing Cubs playoff baseball back to Chicago. They want to do even more.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: it's nice to hear them just say all that instead of saying they're in the best shape of their life, like the cliche always is. I
Facts.
mean, maybe this is just me being kind of old, but we hear a lot of this type of stuff every year. But I will say this particular spring training so far, they are coming with a little bit of a flair. They're coming with back with a little bit of, I guess, frustration or anger of because of how last year ended, which I would rather see that than not, because
Right.
Cubs fans were rightfully angry that we lost to Milwaukee again. Not just the first time in the playoffs, but just like the season being dictated on because Milwaukee was just better than you. And then to watch them go get swept by the Dodgers, it made me feel like, man, like, how did we lose to that team?
Right.
So yeah, it is good to see a little bit of attitude. That's
Yeah.
something I feel like last year's team missed. You know, and I honestly, last couple years, it's not even just 2025. This team, a lot of fans who have been pessimistic about the Cubs will talk about how this team's boring, how there's just no like personality. They're kind of vanilla. And I can't argue with it a lot. Like when we talk about personality on this team over the last couple of years, PCA has been like that, like been the guy. That's it.
Yeah.
Daniel Palencia, I guess, Albert Alzolay when he was here, with the People's Fist. But like your core pieces, a lot of them have been very just straightforward, even
Baseball's my
keel.
job.
Yeah, baseball, my job. Like maybe, maybe bringing Bregman in kind of sets that tone and kind of changes the attitude a little bit, which I like. I like it. It's fun to listen to all this at the beginning of spring training, but at the end of the day, like these guys got to go out, execute when games matter, and if they really do feel the way they feel and talk the way they're going to talk in spring training, like they still have to go out there and show it and prove it in the regular season. And the PECOTA projections have them winning the division by 10 games. And I made a TikTok last week and was just, I kind of like ranted about how mad I was about it, because like there's just no way the Cubs are going to beat the Brewers by 10 games in the division. I just don't see it, because every single year the projection systems, all the people in the national media, they underrate the Brewers every single year, and I'm tired of it. Yeah. Just give them the respect. That way no one says that they're underrated or that they're underdogs or that they play like they're underdogs. I'm so tired of it. Just give them the credit that they're due. Like they just won 90 some games last year, and now PECOTA thinks they're going to win 80 games just because they lost Freddie Peralta. Give me a break.
The Cubs used to love Freddie Peralta come.
they traded Isaac Collins and the other guy too, Caleb Durbin, but still, like they just always figure it out. And if the
Price
Cubs
of the
win the
rain.
division by 10 games, I'll be insufferable, no doubt. But
Oh, yeah.
like we sit here in February, like I just find it hard to believe that that's gonna actually happen. I'm gonna have to get real delusional to believe that. But maybe with this newfound attitude that they're showing, maybe they will run away with the division. And if they do, man, like they'll be not the summer will be really fun, but I think that could really set us up for at least a shot to give the Dodgers our best fight.
Your best Mike Tyson knockout punch is all you get. You get one punch against the Dodgers, and you got to give it your best go. Yeah. But for something tells me Kyle Tucker's going to be licking his chops to face the Cubs and to make Chicago really, really feel a way about him.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel.
My thought, though,
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I don't know how you feel about Kyle Tucker, but I feel like I don't feel like Kyle Tucker's going to deserve to be booed. Like, I'll join in, but I don't really feel like he deserves to be booed. Like, if you were offered $60 million, a year to go play for a team that just won back-to-back World Series, like, I just feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I booed him. But I'll do it because everyone else will do it, and it's fun to boo at games.
Right.
You know? But, like, personally, I can't blame him. You know, like the Blue Jays offered $350 million over 10 years, and he said, "Nah, I'll take the 4-year deal with the Dodgers because they're giving me $60 million AAV." You know, like, yeah, I think the problem with all of that is more about why there could be a lockout next offseason, more so than Kyle Tucker. But
absolutely,
we're gonna find out if having the intangibles that Alex Bregman brings is better for this team than what the offensive production that Kyle Tucker is going to bring into the Dodgers. And I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest with you.
And that's one thing that I have really, really been thinking about as far as preparing myself for this season is like, okay, you lose the home run threat of Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
But you're apparently have already gained so much because you have Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman, day one, comes in, asks for every player's phone number, and asks what every player's been working on all off season. Calls every player, talks to them. Has already been mentoring PCA. Will mentor him through the World Baseball Classic into, like I said, the regular into spring training, into the regular season. And you need that because Kyle Tucker wasn't that. He just wasn't. He's a baseball player. He comes in, he does what he wants to do, leaves. It's a job to him. He goes home. And like you said, and Kyle, when Setup Man Kyle was on the show, he echoed the same exact thing you said. Would you, Mike, turn down $60 million for 4 years? No. No. Call me a hypocrite. Call me whatever you want to call me. Somebody offered me $60 million. I'm taking it. Listen, that 1 year, year's worth payment of $60 million sets my family up for generational wealth. 4 years of it? Stupid.
Yeah.
So, but I think I do think Bregman is going to bring a different feel to this team. And I love that you mentioned attitude. I love that you mentioned not being so vanilla, not just being, because Craig Counsell's a vanilla manager. He just is. Yep. And then like I said, and you look across the way at the Brewers, whom the Cubs will be graded by all season long. And even Cincinnati. You look at both those teams, they have an attitude about them. The players have an attitude, the managers have an attitude, and Craig Counsell just isn't that. So having somebody like PCA be the face of your organization, and then hopefully having Alex Bregman be a clubhouse guy that reinforces to these guys, hey, we're better than them. Mm-hmm. Like, we really are better than them. And everybody else knows we're better than them. We just got to go out and play like we're better than them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's you can talk as much as you want about mentality and everything. Of course, everyone just has to go out there and execute. But I truly think from a talent standpoint, the Cubs have a better roster than the Brewers or the Reds. It just comes down to, I think, a lot of the marginal things. And, one of the reasons the Cubs lost to the Brewers in Game 5 is that they didn't have enough starting pitching, and that could have just I don't know if it would have changed things, but like they could have just started Colin Ray in Game 5 and maybe things go different. And it's crazy to say that because Colin Ray shouldn't be starting a playoff game, but you started Drew Pomerantz. You started Drew Pomerantz because Cade Horton got hurt. But to me, the reason that you're in that position is you didn't get the extra starter that you needed that offseason before. You signed Matt Boyd, and that was it.
Yep.
And then Cade Horton turned out to be way better than anyone thought he was going to be in year one.
Right.
Right. And of course, like,
and then don't forget Tyone. Don't forget Jameson Tyone.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
In the playoff,
and also not having Steele was it loomed large in that playoff series. So you're going to get Steele back this year, which will be huge. But I also think it's kind of I think it's a mistake to just assume he's going to come back into the rotation and be awesome immediately. I think he's going to need some time. My hope is that maybe he gets it going in the second half of the year. And I also don't think he's going to be back until like June.
Right.
So I think that to fast forward it from the end of last season to now, like I think the offense to me is the biggest question on the team.
Sure.
But to add the starter in Cabrera is big, and I think he brings a little bit of flair, kind of like a Daniel Palencia type flair, that I think that this team could really thrive off of. And he also just has electric stuff. Like he might have the best stuff on the team outside of Cade Horton, who apparently today is touching 96 to 98 on the fastball in February. That gets my hair standing up straight, like,
oh yeah.
So, it's the vibe and everything is different, which I love to see. But from a roster standpoint, I will admit and say that I still think they needed to add another starter. And that gives me some worries just because of the injuries that this rotation has sustained the last couple of years. But you're still going to add Steele back to the rotation, and if you're generally healthy by the time he comes back, maybe I was too worried for nothing. But we'll see how things go.
Your concerns are totally warranted based off of what happened last season. So a couple things happened that were unforeseen. Shota Imanaga's decline last year was ridiculous. Now, of course, they've already documented that he has, worked on not tipping his pitches as much, tweaked a couple things. He'll get with Tommy Hotovy again, work with him all spring training. And like I said, we'll see where Shota lands. Jameson Tyone is expecting to come back and have a strong season again for the Chicago Cubs, really be that anchor. What you're looking at, what your question is, and this guy is going to be in the World Baseball Classic, and this may give us a clue as to what he may do in the regular season. I'm looking at Matthew Boyd. I'm wondering what he's going to be because he is older, and he did have damn near a Cy Young season last year. But was that a mirage or was that really him? That's the real question. And then, of course, you want Cade to take that second step. I'm with you with Steele, which is why I really would have liked them to get Zach Gallen, which, I mean, like I said, it appears he took a discount to stay in Arizona, which boggles my brain, but whatever. Right. Why? Yeah. No idea. Him and Breggy are friends, and they work out together, all this stuff. I know Bregman was putting the bug in his ear like, bro, come on. You know what we got brewing over here. Like, come this way. And still, I don't know. But again, I look at it. I think I know what I'm going to get from Edward Cabrera. I believe I know what I'm going to get from Cade Horton. And Jameson Tyone will be up and down all season. Your outliers this season that you're looking at Matthew Boyd and you're looking at Shota Imanaga. If the Cubs are to succeed, those two guys are going to have to recreate for Boyd a version of himself from last year, and Shota Imanaga is going to have to recapture the magic from 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and that's really how you're going to get past the Brewers win-wise.
Yeah, no, I agree. My thing about Boyd is, before last year, he hadn't pitched over 100 innings since 2019. So when the Cubs signed him, last offseason. I wasn't exactly excited about it, just because it's not like he had proven to be durable. And then he came back and was durable. And hell, he was starting the first game of the postseason for you because of some injuries and stuff. And outside of his game 1 start against Milwaukee, which I probably put that more on Craig Counsell for putting him out there on short rest instead of, maybe that's the game they should have used Colin Ray.
Right.
But other than that game, like he showed up for the Cubs in the postseason, and he showed up for them in the regular season too, outside of a tough stretch in the second half. It's just, to me, it's not really if he's going to be good or not. It's more of like, can he be durable again? Because history says no. Now, Imanaga, he's interesting. For as bad as he was in the second half last year, he still finished with an ERA under 4. But he was so bad in the postseason that Craig Counsell didn't have the confidence to put him out there in Game 5. So for me, I think, that hamstring injury probably played a factor. Tipping pitches, whatever all that is. He's going to give up homers, but he cannot give up 30 plus homers in the season, man. Like, this guy missed 6 weeks last year and he still gave up over 30 homers. You know what I mean? And he gets away with it, especially even in 2024, his best season. He still gave up 27 homers that year. Right. But the reason he got away with it is because a lot of them were solo homers, because he didn't allow runners on base. He didn't walk guys. He didn't walk guys. He had one of the lowest walk rates in all of qualified starters in baseball. So the key for him is to keep runners off base and then just limit the home run ball the best he can. I mean, going into this year, I think if he's your number 5 starter, like, great.
Yeah.
Like, because if he can get halfway to what he was in 2024, that's a solid number 5. He'll have some bad starts in there where he probably gives up 1,000 tanks, and we all think that we should DFA him. And then he'll have starts where, he'll go 7 innings and go 3 earned or less and strike out 8 or 9 guys. If you can find a little middling ground, if he can just be a guy who eats innings for you like he did in 2024 on top of being great, like, that's to me, he is the biggest question in the rotation. They all have questions, but to me, he is the biggest one because he's got 1 year and it's worth $22 million. If the Cubs are good and he's bad, like, I could see a DFA.
Wow.
I could. And I hope that's not what we get, because I like the guy. Sure. I want him to succeed, and I want him to succeed with the Cubs. But I mean, if things don't change, we're gonna have problems, especially once Steele comes back. And if he's struggling. So, in my head, when a lot of fans ask me why I wanted them to add Zach Gallen, because where the rotation's set right now, plus Steele's coming back, and it's like, well, first off, is this rotation going to be healthy? And then second off, how much confidence do you have in Shota Imanaga?
Right.
And how, as much as I'm more confident in Matt Boyd, is he going to be healthy? Right. And
very good questions.
Right. And then I'll just do the entire rotation for you. And Cade Horton, I have as much confidence in him as you do. It's still only year 2, and it's his first full season.
Right.
And he's got injury history dating back to college. He had an injury that cost him half a season in the minors. He got hurt last year. It wasn't arm related, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. No, I get it.
He's a young player, and he's a very, very valuable asset for you. So it's just you got to be careful with that. Tyone, he'll be up and down for you, but last year was the only year where he's actually had injury history.
Right.
At least with the Cubs. He's actually been very durable for you. So I don't have much worry in him. It's just he'll go through stretches where he just isn't getting it done. But he pitches well at Wrigley Field. So solid number 4 for you, right?
Sure.
So and then Edward Cabrera, I think, again, he has great stuff, but he also has injury history too. So to me, durability is important for him. But he's coming off his best year. He's going to be working with Hottovy and Tommy Hottovy and Tyler Zombro. There's potential for him to have a true breakout. He had a breakout last year for a mid to bad team. he could like legitimately put himself into like Cy Young territory legitimately if he were to exceed anyone's expectations of of his first season with the Cubs. He really could. He's got that kind of stuff. But I think durability is kind of the question with him. So at the end, I to put it all together, like I have durability questions about the Cubs rotation, but at the same time, it's not like these pitchers are bad.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about who's good or bad, like Shota's probably the one that I have the most concern about.
Which I wanted to ask you, we're going to kind of play a game here, I guess, as we go along in conversation, but the over-under, are you taking the over or the under on Shota potentially? You said DFA. I was going to ask you when Justin Steele comes back, if he's like not up to speed, could he find himself pitching in relief? But you were like, well, I mean, if he can find himself DFA, and I'm like, oh shoot, well, that's a whole different subject for a guy that was like the face. Like every time you watch the Marquee Network, you saw him more than anybody.
Oh, that commercial coming out of the bathroom.
Yeah. Like, and to go from that to if he don't have his stuff together, he might get DFA'd. I mean, that's a stark contrast into.
I mean, could I see Shota come out of the bullpen? I mean, I guess, but it doesn't really fit what you want coming out of the bullpen. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want anyone in your bullpen giving up as many tanks as he's given up, and then he doesn't throw hard. You know, like a couple years ago, the Cubs let Kyle Hendricks come out of the bullpen, but that was A, the team was bad. 2, he was Kyle Hendricks. You know.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to DFA him. They just weren't going to do it. He means too much to the organization. You know, like whether that's right or wrong, that's up for debate. But Shota's been there for 2 years. It's not like he's been there for 10 plus. So I just don't see a role for him in the bullpen unless like the bullpen is a massive problem. You know. Which that to me that would be worse than like having to deal with just Shota being the one starter that's not good, you know.
Right. I would take that any day if Shota's the problem, because you can, like you say, there's an easy fix for that. Plus, you also have Colin Ray and you have Javier Assad both waiting in the wings.
Plus, Ben Brown can start some games. Jordan Wicks can start some games.
Don't mention Ben Brown. I'm so over it. I'm so over the Ben Brown experiment, bro. The Ben Brown experiment.
I have a Ben Brown itch. I'm sick. I'm a sick piece of work.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are sick.
But I'm just being honest with you, Mike. It's hard for me to get past tall and throws 98. Okay.
I get it. I get it. It's also hard to get past somebody that can give up as many runs as he does consistently.
You're right.
The Ben Brown experiment is as bad as the Patrick Williams experiment for the Chicago Bulls.
I don't know about that.
They are. They mirror each other. I'm telling you, they mirror each other.
Patrick Williams was a number 4 overall pick in the NBA draft. Ben Brown was traded for David Robertson from the Phillies. Okay.
All right.
Fair. I don't even know where Ben Brown was taken in a draft, but like he definitely didn't have the same hype as Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is going to be on the list of biggest busts in Chicago sports history one day. All right. Like, I can't believe they gave him $90 million.
Already there. To stay. You were almost done with him and you gave him more money to stay. And now you can't get rid of him. Nobody will take him. They won't even give you a sandwich for him. They're like, no, please. No, we don't want him. He's so ass. But okay. For Ben, I think back to that Detroit start last year in Detroit, dude, and he looked electric. And right there, I'm right there with you. Like, okay, like, man, he might be getting ready to turn the corner. And then he comes out the next start, and he is god awful. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I'm tired of the inconsistencies with Ben Brown, and I need him to figure it out because the Cubs have to figure out where they're going to put him. Like, is he a starter? Is he a relief guy? Like, where are we with this? You know?
Yeah.
It's
if you how do I say this? If you look at his projections on Fangraphs like Zips, I don't know which one you like to look at, but Zips has him as a 3.69 FIP. That's solid. And last year his FIP was 4.08 to go with his 5.92 earn run average. That's obviously not good.
Right.
But for a large part of the year, his FIP was actually like closer to 3 before things just kind of fell off.
Right.
I don't really know how to explain like that reasoning though. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that. But he would have games where he would do well the first time through the lineup and then shit just goes to hell. And I feel like he struggled with kind of letting things go and not letting it spiral, you know? Like I think that's what good pitchers do. Pitchers can give up runs unless you're Tarek Skubal or Paul Skeens, but like I think the process of becoming a better pitcher, or at least a better starting pitcher, is finding out a way to not spiral and give up 2 runs in the 4th inning. Don't give up 7. You know, and he talked about that.
Get the last out.
Yeah, he talked about this kind of stuff in his first media session at camp last week, and talking about how like he let bad innings get to him and it kind of dictate the rest of his start and stuff. And listen, you say all these things, it still comes down to execution and performance and all that, right? But I don't know, man. I honestly think to start the year, he'll probably be in AAA and he'll be starting games. That's what I think that they'll be doing with him. I wouldn't be upset, though, if they just moved him to the bullpen and let him be a full 1 inning, like, let it all out guy, because that fastball and knuckle curve plays.
It does. It's sick.
Yes. But, and another thing, too, the reason that, like, I can understand why people don't want to see him start anymore is, like, the changeup. He just doesn't have, he hasn't shown to have the confidence in that changeup.
Right.
If he comes out here in the spring and is throwing that changeup with confidence and is getting whiffs, we're talking about a complete different pitcher. You know
somebody that can knock back on the door of destiny to start.
He's not gonna be on the rotation opening day though. Like he just, and that's fine. So like, but if someone gets hurt, can he come start 2 or 3 games for you, and pitch well enough to maybe carve out a role in the bullpen, or just even be a long relief guy? The guy generates whiffs. The guy gets swing and miss. You mentioned the game in Detroit. He went toe to toe with Tarek Skubal that night. You know,
I was amazed. I thought we were going to get smashed, but he was damn near
on national television. It was on Apple TV.
On national television. Yep.
But,
and he really came through.
Yeah. So it just the things that I mentioned. Those are all the questions. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those. But I am saying that you're tall and you throw 98. I can't give up on you yet. I just can't do it. He could be the next Dylan Maples, but I think he has a better mental state than Dylan Maples did. I do think that.
And I think Ben is a little bit, like you said, a little bit more grounded than Dylan Maples. There are some reclamation projects that the Cubs have, young reclamation projects that the Cubs have that I'm interested to watch for. Porter Hodge being one, obviously Ben Brown being another. You know, like I said, and what was the other starting pitcher? The one with the glasses that you mentioned,
Jordan Wicks.
Jordan Wicks is another. Those guys we'll see time in AAA, but I mean, we've already talked about it, and I forgot who else I was on the show with. I was talking with them, and Craig Counsell at the end of last year said the Chicago Cubs, even after losing Jameson Taillon for a time period, Shota Imanaga for a time period, Justin Steele for the whole season, Kyle Tucker for a little while, and like so many different injuries. He actually said that they were healthy last year. So if he graded that season as a primarily healthy season, you're gonna see guys like Ben Brown, guys like Jordan Wicks, guys like Porter Hodge are going to get time and opportunity this season, because that's just the business of baseball. It's one of those things where guys are going to go down with injury. Guys are going to get hurt. Now, you pray it's not nothing where it's season ending like it was for Steele last year, but those guys are going to get those opportunities to come up to the majors and contribute to a team that's supposed to win a division and be rivaling the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, other teams like that. So they have to be ready. They have to prepare for that.
Yeah, I'll say this: like, Council's right about the team being healthy. If you just look at position players, I mean, outside of Tucker, who got hurt last year,
it's true.
Like,
oh wait, you did have Miggy.
Oh yeah, Miguel Amaya, which actually turned out to be pretty huge because Carson Kelly, like, I don't want to say he faded, but he obviously
he started out so
nearly as good. He wasn't nearly as good later in the season, but he did have a couple big hits in the postseason. I'll give him that. But I think he can be a little bit more consistent or more, maybe just better this year if Amaya stays healthy. Plus, you add Moises Ballesteros, who Council openly has said is going to catch games. I don't know how many, but it is a possibility that we see him catch some games that'll get Carson Kelly off his feet. If Carson Kelly is starting 2 or 3 games a week, I think you'll get the best out of Carson Kelly that way. You know what I mean?
That a break versus every single day he's catching.
Yeah. Because there's no way he's going to hit the way he did last year. Right. If he has to play almost every day. It's just not. But yeah, man, I think that they were pretty lucky on the health side from a position player standpoint. So I think, a lot of fans curious how Matt Shaw's role is going to be. They're not going to be that lucky from a health perspective on the position player side again.
Right.
So I'm not really worried about how many at-bats Matt Shaw is going to get. And also, how many times did Craig Counsell put Willie Castro out there to force us to watch? You know what I mean? Matt Shaw is going to get at bats. Matt Shaw is going to get at bats, and I'm not worried about him not getting at bats. But
Willie Castro and fucking Justin Turner, first base today, Justin Turner. Yay, great. Michael Bush went 3 for 4 yesterday, but he's on the bench today because that's a lefty.
The way I think about it, those days that you just mentioned, those were always the last game of a series, getaway day.
Yep.
And there was a reason that the Cubs never swept series as much as we wanted them to, because Craig Counsell would just kind of put the B lineup out there and, got certain guys off their feet, give Justin Turner a couple at bats, especially if it's against a lefty, and then bring Bush in later in the game, or, we're putting Willie Castro out in right field because we're sitting Tucker today, or we're sitting Seiya today because Tucker's hurt too. Whatever it is, I think Shaw will be just fine in terms of getting at bats. The question for me is just, will he be able to not only take a step forward offensively, but will he playing all these different positions, will that affect his offense at the same time? And there's a reason people rave about Ben Zobrist as a player, as probably a Hall of Very Gooder. They rave about him because he's probably one of the best utility players ever, but not everyone can do that. Christopher Morel, they tried to do that with him and it didn't work. Right. And the one year that they just basically DH'd him, he had his best season with the Cubs. And, they tried to play him at third base the year after and he was terrible, so I think that Matt Shaw has all the potential to, be kind of a X factor, but also I'm not really worried about him getting at bats just because I just don't think the team on the position player side will be as healthy as they were last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with Craig Counsell being more mindful about giving Alex Bregman days of rest, he will see time at third. About if Mo Bally is having a rough go hitting, then you move Seiya Suzuki over into the DH role for a day or two, and you give Matt Shaw time over there in right. Or like I said, if Ian Happ needs a day of rest, you put him over there in left field. I mean, he can play basically everywhere. And he came out. They were interviewing him. I think it was either today or yesterday. And he came out and he said, I think a lot of people forget that I played a lot of outfield, in my past. Like I said, maybe not much in the majors, any in the majors for that matter. But I do have experience out there. So for me, it's just about finding my timing, again, and recalibrating my timing. But outside of that, he's like, I'm comfortable out playing wherever Craig puts me, So,
Yeah.
like I
You
said,
love to see that. You love to see
yeah,
that, and we'll see. Again, the Cubs clearly believe in him. They didn't trade him this offseason. They still signed Bregman with him on the roster. Like, this conversation could go into the Horner trade or extension, whatever talk, if you wanted to do that. But at the same time, like, in my head, I think this team will be a lot better for the next 5 years if Bregman, Shaw, and Horner are on the team.
agreed.
Yeah.
Better together than anything. I think because you don't know from year to year what you're going to get health wise from Dansby. Nico has been banged up in the past, and these guys have tried to play through injury. And I'm talking about these guys are the guys that are diving for the balls and on the ground a lot. Like I said, trying to scoop up those ground balls. So Matt Shaw is going to be very, very important. Sentiment Kyle mentioned this when I did the episode with him. He was like, I think the Cubs are going to be very fortunate when they look back that they did not make a trade for trading away Matt Shaw when Breggy needs days or Dansby goes down with an injury, or like I said, because you have that guy that can plug and play in any of those positions, and he's going to be almost damn near gold glove quality. He was great at third base defensively last year, I thought. I mean, like I said, so and he's a natural second baseman, correct? If I'm not wrong on that.
Well,
so I mean,
yeah.
like I said,
I remember at Maryland he played all over the infield, shortstop or second base. Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, for him, he'll be a guy that you can basically put anywhere, and he'll be able to help you defensively. Again, now if his offense comes along, he may come knocking at a place where if let's say our good friend Ian Happ, is I always go to Ian Happ. If Ian Happ gets to that 200 or below mark, hitting wise, with his batting average, and you got somebody that like Matt Shaw that's just like on fire. You start having questions. Then you start having questions, Cody. That's all I'm saying is there's conversations that have to be had because I am tired of this shit with Ian Happ. Like over it.
I don't want to call myself an Ian Happ defender, but I do think a lot of people hate on Ian Happ more than they should. But he also is a player that is extremely streaky. When he's going well, it's fun to watch. When he's struggling, like he goes through those 6 week stretches where he can't hit for shit. But I will say during those stretches, he still finds a way to get on base via the walk. But for what they pay him, for where they put him in the lineup, they need more than that during those times too. I don't know. It's a walk year for him, so maybe you get the best year out of his career from him this year.
From your lips to God's ears and to Ian Happ's bat, I hope so, because we need it. We are going to need it.
Yeah,
Cody.
He's just a good player. Like I don't know. I don't know how else to say. I think he's a good player, but I understand some of the frustration about him sometimes, but I also think he gets too much hate.
We'll see. We'll see how he goes this season. Me and you'll be having constant conversation. So I'll be looking at you like, Cody.
He's hitting 180, Cody. What is going on here? And then I'm going to start sending you every time he walks.
Cody is going to 2 weeks and he ain't got a single hit in the game, Cody. What are we doing here? So, but man, listen, we've had too much fun, bro. I have to have you back again, man. Thank you so much for gracing us, the C3 fam, man, with your presence and your baseball knowledge, bro. Like I said, thanks so much for just agreeing to come on. Again, you got an open door, man. Anytime you want to come on the show, man. Like I said,
hold on. I was looking forward to playing the game. What's the did we forget the game?
I kind of gave you a couple over-unders. All right, so
is that on me for not like? Did I just screw up the game?
No, I
missed it.
No. So we can still do the game real quick if you want.
We can We can just quick
fire them off. You ready?
Yeah,
all right. Okay. Over under on Michael Busch being an All-Star this year.
Over.
Okay. All right. I'm with
Yeah,
you on
like
that.
I think
I,
he has the potential to be one of the best first basemen in the National League this year, for sure.
somebody believes with me. Let's go. I'm on the Michael Bush train as hard as anybody. I love Michael Bush so much. All right. Over under. Cade Horton is in the Cy Young conversation by the end of the season.
It's a bad time to do this because he's noted counsel saying he's throwing 96 to 98 with the fastball today. I'll say under because I need to see more. I need to see more still.
Okay.
First full season. I don't think he's going to be in the Cy Young race this year. No.
Okay. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's going to be bad. I think he'll still be really solid, but I just don't know if will he get Cy Young votes? Like maybe, but I don't think he's going to be in the race.
Okay. All right. Over under. Seiya Suzuki hits 40 bombs this year.
Oh man, dude! Last time someone for the Cubs hit 40 homers, it was Derek Lee in 2005.
Yep.
I'll go under because it's been 21 years, dude.
Somebody's gonna break it. Someone's
got to do it, right? Yeah.
Right.
And I'll go, dude. I'm telling you, what we need the man upstairs to start blowing the wind a different direction in this city, dude. Like Wrigley it used to be a hitter's park. The last 3 years, it just has not been
at all. The wind's like swirling around, like
if
birds
you
can't
ask
even
me,
land or anything like that.
If you ask me over under, say Suzuki 30 homers, I'll take the over. I think he could do that. He did it last year, and he's in a walk year. I could see I mean, he was on pace for 40 homers last year, but his second half he really struggled in August and half of September. So I mean, I don't know,
right.
He has 40 homer power, but I think he has shown us each season that he'll go through a month and a half slump too. Similar to Ian Happ, but he produces more offensively when he is going well. So no one compares him to Ian Happ at all. And I'm not trying to be, but he does have the similar type slump that Ian Happ has at times. So I'll go under on 40, but I think over on 30.
Gotcha. And last but not least, over under. Daniel Palencia finishes the season as the closer for the Cubs.
So yes or no? I mean, yes, over. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to enter the season as a closer, like Council said last week. Zips projects him for 30 saves this year. I mean, it's his job to lose, man. This guy throws gas. I think he learned a lot. He had a great playoff series or postseason experience this year. The question is, can he do it again? Just like Cade Horton, can he do it again? You know, and he's a special talent, man. This guy throws 102 easy. You know, I think he's going to be the closer the entire year. I have no reason to think that he's not.
Okay, all right. I have not doubts, concerns about Daniel Palencia. And it's only because, again, I especially when you label somebody or crown somebody that closer role, that for the Cubs, that's something we've been searching for a while now, that closer, that shutdown, lockdown closer. And we've talked about we needed it through trade. We talked about we needed it through this. And, you know, all the listeners and viewers and whatnot, they all say the same thing. However, we sit here and we say to ourselves that, you know, Daniel Palencia does throw gas, but his mentality has to be he cannot get frustrated, I feel like, when things don't go his way, because then it spirals. Like kind of like what you were saying. He's another young guy where things will spiral and go out of control for him. And, you know, he will self-destruct almost, you know, and you can't have that in that closer role. You got to be cool. You got to be a smooth operator, like I said, in that role. And you got to be calm, and you got to go back out there. Even if you lose a game one day, you got to go back out there the next day, and you got to go back out there and pitch again.
Well, I'll say this. If I'm wrong about this, then Hunter Harvey will finish the season as a closer.
Okay.
That would be my next man up.
Okay.
Me and Blake talked about Hunter Harvey last week, and we think he has potential to be like this year's version of Brad Keller. The
Ooh.
only difference is he's not on a minor league deal like Brad Keller was. The Cubs paid him $6 million to come there. Like he's shown to be awesome as a reliever. He's just had health issues the last couple of years, so it will be all about staying healthy for him. So, yeah, I mean, if Palencia doesn't work out, then Harvey would probably be Council's next man up, I would guess. But I think Maton's going to be solid in that like 7/8 inning role, and then Theo Barr's back, and he was awesome last year. He's a veteran. The bullpen, actually, we haven't talked a lot about it, but I think there's a little bit more proven talent in there, and also like some upside. And I'm excited to see one of these non-roster invitees get out there and maybe earn a role too, just like Brad Keller did last spring. So,
show something. Show us something. Like I said, Cody, I'm gonna have to have you back because we didn't even scratch the surface of everything that we need to talk about. So, like I said, I'm definitely planning on already in my mind. I want to carve out a date to have you back here real soon. Hopefully, like I said, when the time permits for both of us. Thank you so much for joining on the show, man. Any last words? Any last thoughts?
I'm gonna take the over on season total wins at 88.5. I'm taking the over. The Cubs are gonna make the playoffs. I don't know if they're gonna win the division. I hope they win the division, but they're definitely a playoff team. And that's my final thoughts on February 16th, or I guess you're listening to this on February 17th. That's my final thoughts. That's where I'm at on this 2026 Chicago Cubs to start of spring training. We're a playoff team. We're a good team. They got to prove to be a great team to me. That's kind of like my motto going into the season. I think we're good. I think they're going to be a good, fun team. And maybe, just maybe, this attitude that they're displaying in early on in spring training will mean that they're going to be significantly better than last year, and maybe they do run away with the division. But overall, they kind of have to prove a little bit more to me for me to believe that they could compete with the Dodgers. And I say all that, and then I think, well, who are the top 3 teams in the NL? I would still put the Cubs there. So I think that just shows just how far ahead the Dodgers are from everyone else right now. But as we saw, the Blue Jays almost did it. And anything can happen in October, man. So it's all about getting there and then just rolling the dice. But you also have to put together a really good squad to have the opportunity to get there, and I think the Cubs have that. So I'll ride that good vibe right there out of the show and into regular season.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, Cody, for joining. Listen, guys, make sure you guys go over to the Wrigleyville Forever Podcast. Make sure that you subscribe over there. You can find it under Cody Delmendo over on YouTube. Also, look him up on Apple and Spotify. Correct you guys over there as well. Like I said, find them over there. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like I said, or like you just said, to find the to watch it, you just got to search my name on YouTube and just search Wrigleyville Forever on wherever you listen to your podcasts. So, I appreciate anyone who wants to come check us out.
Yeah, man. And guys, like I said, he'll be back over here too. And I'll let you guys know like when we schedule me over on Wrigleyville Forever, so that way we make sure we tune in over there too. Show my man some love, man. Like I said, he's giving great insight. And again, he will be back as a guest over here. Thank you all so much. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. Also, join our Facebook group over there, Chicago Cubs Central. Like I said, the membership is growing. Remember, when we get to 3,000 subs, y'all, we are giving away a free Cubs jersey. You don't want to miss that, but you got to be subscribed to the group as well as to the podcast over here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody over on Spotify and Apple that have tuned in and are tuning in. Appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, go Cubs go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.